What's up, Lowrider family? Welcome back to another episode here on Lolos and More. And now today we are going to work on this 97 Towncar. We're going to start putting in a rack in this car. I guess you can say I kind of got 100% control on how it's going to lay out in here. So this car belongs to a good friend of mine that I've known him for should be about 20 years now. We've been good friends since we were kids. He pretty much set it up the way I want to, wherever I want the pumps. I know for sure he wants the batteries at least in the corners, but everywhere else, the pump setting, solenoid setting, it's all gonna lay on me. So I still haven't decided where I want to put the pumps. I figured I'm going to go ahead and mount the solenoids on the battery trays. You know, keep that pretty, pretty basic on that. But for the pumps, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm kind of debating if I want to set the pumps up there. If I put them up there, it's kind of inconvenient for somebody who's new, like to low riding, like my friend. Having them up there is kind of inconvenient for him. But like I said, I did get full. I can pretty much do this however I wanna. So I'm gonna try and see as I'm going, as I start building, kind of start seeing where I want stuff to sit at, where I want the pumps to sit at. So it's going to be a rack for three pumps for sure. 8 batteries. Only got 5 right here right now. Unfortunately, my friend's garage, his garage got broken into. They stole 3 batteries and they stole 2 of his rims. So right now he's rocking my golden chrome 14s right now until he can order himself just 2 rims from OG Wire Wheels, some 13-inch cross-laced wheels. So that's unfortunate. I set us back a little bit, but not too much. I also did the rear end on this one. We took up the axle at my buddy's place, brought it back here, finished it up along with these 2. You guys should have already seen this video before this one even drops. So these are already complete by now. But I fished them up at the same time, pinned it up. Me and my friend mounted it back up at his place, and I did the bridge on it as well. Let's see if I can kind of get on there, under there. Did the bridge. Can't really see it too well, but I did the chain mounts because he is new to low riding. So last thing we want is for him to overlock it, break the ears on the axle, and then then he's broke until I can get to it. So yeah, this car is gonna get a lot of love in the future. We're gonna reinforce it, all of the stress points. I replaced the brake line with extended brake lines. All I got left to do is weld a tab right here so I can put this through it and then lock it in place so that the hard lines doesn't move, so it doesn't move around. So yeah, and then the axle has chain mounts as well. And then on the axle, I'm pretty sure I showed his axle a little bit on the past video, but yeah, there's a hole for his breather right there. So, and then the front, we had some friends do the swap because I wasn't available at the time, so he hired some friends to do the front swap, the spindle swap, and also bought a bunch of other chrome stuff, undercarriage and stuff like that. It also has a chrome drive line, no slip in it though. It's over there. So it's his first lowrider. He's going all out on it, which you don't need to. But I mean, it's his taste, it's his ride, right? So I got some stuff already pre-cut. I got his trays, his pump mounts already cut out. All of this right here is pretty much his material besides that flat stock. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just start up with doing the battery trays. I'm gonna drill the holes, cut the holes with the angle grinder. I need to get underneath the car, figure out where underneath the car where there's body mounts, you know, so I'm not cutting above the body mount or cutting it off for any reason. So that's what I'm about to do. I'm gonna do those two things here real quick, and then as soon as I get those done, I'll come back, show you where I did my cuts, so you guys can know where to do your cuts on your town cars. And then I guess hopefully I got more stuff planned out after that on how I'm gonna do the layout in the trunk. And this thing, it's huge. You can do so much with this trunk, so much. But I know my friend told me he wants at least a 12-inch box, 12-inch subwoofer to fit here in the center. So I'm gonna accommodate for that. But obviously there's so much room here, so I don't think we have anything to worry about. So let me get started. I'll come right back and I'll show you what's next. Alright, I got the battery trays all welded up, corners and the bottom all done. I went ahead, did the holes for the mounts of the rack. This rack is going to be completely welded in place. It's not going to be a removable one. If anything, I can always cut it up, modify it, or do whatever I need to do with it. If my homeboy decides to change his mind, to change the way it's set up or anything like that, we can do that in the future. It's pretty easy to do for me, I guess, right? But so I'm gonna let you guys know. So this little right here, that's a body mount right there, and there's a body mount right about in this area. So you got from here to all the way to there room to do your mounts. So I already grinded it down as best I can get in there with a wire wheel, and so now I'm going to go ahead and make my stands for it and get ready to cut and grind them down, get them ready to prep, and weld it on into place. So I guess let me go ahead and get that going. So yeah, I guess a little bit now is pretty much the boring part, just figuring out the post, how high I want it to sit. Just keep in mind your batteries. Make sure you put your batteries on wood. They're just here temporarily because I just finished. I needed them to make sure that my trays were squared. And that's pretty much it, really. So let me just start making the mount, the stands, the posts, I guess. And I think we'll come back as soon as I have those welded into place, and then I should have an idea of what exactly I'm gonna do and where I'm gonna sit the pumps at. So all right, we'll be right back. All right, so I went ahead and I did the pump mounts. The one in the middle obviously is pushed forward or back, whichever way you want to look at it, and then the side pumps are pushed further back into the trunk for the rears. We're going to be plumbing up the car with 2 pumps for right now, but we are going to make it a 3 pump pretty much right away, if that makes any sense. So I finished up pretty much the rack is pretty much done. The only thing I do need to do is drill holes for the solenoids, because they're going to go underneath the batteries right here facing downward on that angle bracket right there on both sides. I'm going to have the rear solenoids right there, 2 different banks, and then like 3 or 4 solenoids right here for the front pump. Got the hold down posts welded into place, ready to go. All I do need to make is just the hold down bar. That's pretty much it. So I'll go ahead and make that get that measurement now, so I can make a cut here in a little bit. But that's pretty much it. Pretty much the rack is pretty much done. Just need to do the bars, cover the trunk up, and paint the rack black. I know we're gonna rhino line, bed line the trunk. I think like a bluish tint, or a color to where my homeboy is gonna paint the car. I'm pretty sure he was gonna paint it something else. So I don't know, maybe the bed liner will have to wait for now. So pretty much did something pretty simple. That right there is 4-inch C-channel welded to the bottom and sides, insides of the trays, so that won't go anywhere. So if I have little pieces of 2x2, I'm gonna go ahead and just cover up those holes. It's not necessary, but you know, last thing you want is one of your batteries to pop and lead acid to get in there. So, and then last thing you want is for the lead acid to start eating away, corroding the metal from the inside. So I might go ahead and do that. Not something too crazy. I might just maybe tack it, do a couple welds on each corner. So all right, well, let me get to it, get to the next stage, and I guess we'll be right back. Hopefully we will be. I know for sure we're gonna be hitting the switch on this car as soon as it's all plumbed together. So stay tuned to the end of the video. So we'll catch you here in the next scene. So I'm gonna take a quick break from building the rack, and we're gonna go ahead and swap out the stock steering wheel and put in a aftermarket wheel. I don't remember the website, but I'll show you here in a sec with the wheel. So we ran into a couple of issues with the new wheel, but just to give you kind of a rundown on how to remove the factory one, if you ever want to go with like the ones that Crazy Cutting sells or other different types of companies, and I'll let you know what we just ran into. So obviously I already took off the airbag. That's because I already took the steering wheel off before, due to, you know, and that's when we ran into the issues. So to do this properly, make sure you always disconnect your battery to the car. Just remove the negative terminal, but on the safe side, if you want, remove the positive side as well. And then you're going to remove 2 caps, one on each side. These plastic caps right here, one on this side and one on the opposite side. And then there's 2 screws holding it, one on each side, and they're 8mm. So take those out. Nothing hard. And then the airbag comes out, and then behind it there's a 2 clips. Unclip it, and the whole airbag assembly comes right back out. And then once you do that, then you come to this point. This is where you got to pull out your steering wheel puller. But the nut right there was like, let me see, it was a T50, so it Torx bolt in the middle, and all you got to do is loosen it up, and the wheel comes right out. And even though I put it back in temporarily, the wheel still somehow gets stuck on there pretty good. So and then, you know, I got a whole kit, so it comes with everything, all the different types of bolts and stuff. So I haven't told my friend yet, but I figured out how to put all together. So yeah, there's a stock steering wheel. As you can see, it's almost like a square shaft. It's a round shaft, but flat edges on 4 sides. So yeah, okay, so let me show you. This is the issue we ran into. So this is the hub that the steering wheel came with. Nice and shiny and chrome. It's aluminum and chrome. The thing is, you see those splines? This doesn't fit that steering wheel, obviously, you know, but we didn't know that until we took the steering wheel off and then saw that it was a different type of shaft. The website, I'll put it up here, up top, and in the description below. But I told my buddy, because he always has bad luck, poor guy, but I told him, make sure you call him or email him and ask him if it's a direct fit for the 97 Towncar, and they told him yes. So we got, you know, once we got to this point and we saw that does not fit at all, and they do not sell adapters or different types of hubs to fit different types of cars. They told him go to Amazon or go to eBay and buy a different hub and make it work. So I thought the customer service there was kind of stupid, but I don't know if it's a new company or whatever, but this is the issue you're gonna run into. So I'll show you guys right now what I had to do. Working on my Lolo as well. So here's the wheel. The new steering wheel, still in the protective packaging. So he got the wheel to match his wheels, because his are cross lace. So what I did is I had to grind down the center. As you can see, the copper right there, copper plating for chrome. I had to grind that down so it can fit this hub that I found. I don't remember if it was eBay or Amazon, but it was one of those two. But this one has the has that one that will fit the wheel, but it's only flat on 2 sides, and it does fit the shaft. So what I had to do to make it work, like I said, I had to grind down the inside of that. I had to grind the inside of this to make the horn fit, because now the horn fits. So it's a Luxor wheel. I don't know if it's Luxor wheels like the wire wheels too, but I'll put the website in the description for sure. So yeah, so now it all fits. So I just had to grind it down on both parts, and now it fits flush, and it'll bolt up to that adapter perfectly. So I'm gonna go ahead and slap this all back together. It's pretty straightforward and simple. This like I said, there was no instructions or anything at all on how to make the horn actually work properly, but I'll say this. So right here, when you take off the steering wheel, right behind it you would have seen the clock spring, which is right here, that I removed. Plus it's ruined. When I removed it, the string is everywhere, so this clock spring no longer works. Right, so I had to cut off one of the connections that I just taped off and put it in here. So I'm assuming one of these wires is for the horn to work properly, but I'm gonna look into that at a later day. I'm gonna just give my homeboy a air horn, and he can use that as a horn. So let me slap it all together real quick, and I'll show you the end result. So I just finished bolting it back up. It's super simple. You put the 9 screws that they supply you, and then you put the horn in it, and then the horn covers the screws, and this just sits in there. The backing of the horn has a O-ring on it, So that's why I shaved off a little bit on the inside of the black adapter of the hub, because it didn't fit, either because maybe the powder coating on the part was too thick or something. So it took off just enough, and then it sits in perfectly. It looks freaking nice. The only thing is, you know, you got this now, but I'm pretty sure later on we can come up with something, cover this up. It looks like maybe if we can buy like a flat plate, screw something there and at the bottom right there, and kind of cover this up, maybe we can do that. You know, buy like a black cover or a chrome cover. There's screws all the way around, so maybe we'll do that. So yeah, this is for a 97 Towncar. Looks pretty good. Yeah, it even has the chrome grips on the back. So you're still gonna burn yourself like if you're driving a lowrider with a chain steering wheel. So they sell different types of steering wheels to match your rims. So all right, now that I'm done with this, I'm gonna get back to putting the rack together. All right, everybody, so I'll let you know where we're at. So I ended up moving forward by a lot. So last you saw on the rack, I was still welding on, I believe, that part right there with the mounts for the pump mounts. So let's see, I got the hold downs done, I got them capped off. I got the hold downs recessed, like that. Yes, this is on purpose, just like that. So the reason why I ended up just having to not to really not post, I would say, give you updates on the other stuff, is because I know we've done this multiple times already on the channel. It's all simple. Every car's trunk looks just a little bit different, whether it's 4 to 6 to 8 batteries, you know, having it set up differently and stuff like that. So what you saw was the steering wheel install, and believe it or not, so the wheel is from Luxor. The rims that he did have, just two of the rims got stolen, were from Luxor, so he's running mine right now. Those are Sinister wheels, I believe. But come to find out, the blocks that he has are Luxor. The gears inside the rear pumps are Luxor as well. Kind of funny. It's like a Luxor build. So on my homeboy, we got the CCE 1/2-inch block. We got the Sacco motor. He has my old number 11 gear that we're gonna test out in his car. The car's not built to hop or anything like that whatsoever, but we got a 1/2-inch check valve, 1/2-inch Y block, and then we got a regular old school Delta dump. And then his back pumps, we got brand new Delta dumps, brand new slowdowns, and stuff like that. The gears that are Luxor, I don't know what number they are, but I'm going to assume that they're like number 6s or number 8s, but they're the tiny generic looking ones. So they'll do just fine just for the rear. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So now I already ran the hoses from the front to the back, but the hoses were short, so we're gonna redo that. My kid helped me run the wire for the switches, and then my friend ran them the rest of the way. He tucked them under into the interior trim. So now at the point where I'm at is I got a bunch of little things to do. So, and that's pretty much, so what I need to do is the car and it sits pretty high in the rear. So I'm either gonna cut the coils off of those springs or put in different springs. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. So I'll have to really think about that, see what we're gonna do. I have the wiring block ready to start roughing in the wire to the dumps and to the solenoids. And then the cables connecting the batteries together are done, besides the one that I have to jump from this bank to the other bank, and then the cables from the batteries to the solenoids. So I still got to run those. I still got to make the ones that go to the pumps, to the motors, and then after that, then it's cleaning up the wiring, tucking it in, zip tying it into place, and putting oil in it and testing it. So one thing that I haven't done yet, because I'm still debating on where to run the hoses for the front. So right now you can only see the back hoses. They're not connected to the pumps yet either. So I'm debating if I want to cut a hole out, one on each side, like right behind the battery, put a grommet on it and run a hose out of there, and swoops into the front pump, into the Y block, one on each side, right? One hole here, one hole there. Or if I'm able to, drill one hole, or if I'm able to use the existing holes where the air ride wiring comes out of the trunk from back there, and then run the hoses to the back of the pump. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet, but it's gonna be a tight fit because of the bridge is already there. So I don't know. I think I am gonna go ahead and just do the one hole there behind the batteries, and call it a day, and put grommets on it so it doesn't cut the hose. So I guess I got a lot of work to do and not so much time to do it. I guess I didn't really explain to why I ended up just jumping ahead, and that was because there was going to be a super show here in the Northwest on August 3rd, but I have no idea what the hell they're doing. Now it's not going to happen on August 3rd, and it's not going to happen at the same venue anymore. Now it's going to be an outdoor show. So to me now it's just a regular car show. It's going to be an outdoor show. So, but it's still going to be pretty pricey just to get in. So from what I'm hearing, a lot of people are asking for the money back because it's not an indoor show anymore. And it's August, and it's, for Oregonians or for anybody in the Northwest, it's fucking hot. So and the last thing we want to do is be outside on a hot August summer day. That's for sure. So alright, let me get to it on this wiring. I'm just gonna rough it in. It's gonna look messy, and then after that, clean it up, tuck it up, zip tie it into place, along with all the battery cables running all over the place as well. So let me get to it, and we'll be right back. Alright, everybody, so let's see. So everything was pretty much wired up. Right now I'm running into an issue that I have never had before, so I'm gonna have to go through all of the battery cables and see what the hell's going on. So when I first finished wiring everything up, we went ahead and tested the dumps. We tested the solenoids, making sure that they were opening and closing like they should, and it was working just fine. So we go to connecting the quick disconnect, and it was working, right? And then all of a sudden you can only hear the solenoids clicking, and the car wouldn't go up anymore. So that was telling me that we had an issue with the solenoids, which was one of the issues. So we replaced the front assembly, front solenoid bank, replaced that. I told my homeboy, go ahead and just buy all brand new solenoids, because the ones that we put in the car originally were sitting for a few years in the garage, but they were working just fine before. And then we went ahead, put 2 new banks for the rears, and then plug everything back together, and the front pump, everything was working. But then we saw that there was a pinhole in the damn front hose for the passenger side. So we're kind of screwed there till Monday. And then so we decided just to go ahead and test the rear so we can adjust the chains. Like I said, I don't remember saying, but I'm gonna limit my friend to how high he can raise the rear, because the last thing I want him is to break stuff until he can get used to the switches, and then we can take the chains off and whatever. But then we started having an issue. Then all of a sudden the rear pumps would not go up. So that's when we did replace the solenoids. And when we went to go connect the quick disconnect, the quick disconnect started to spark. Just tapping every time before I plug them together. I tap them, make sure nothing's wrong, because you always hear those stories of people getting shocked and stuff like that. So it's sparking, which it should not be doing that. So leaving it unplugged, I was working on the switches thinking maybe one of the switches went bad. I accidentally hit one of the switches and I can hear a click. So I would hit the down switch on all the dumps and they were all clicking down with the ground disconnected. So now I'm kind of lost. I went through a couple of the cables to see if they're good. Like, it was working just fine, thinking just the solenoids went bad, but now there's something else wrong. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through all the cables, disconnect everything, rerun everything, check the cables, and see what the hell's going on. And then I'll get back to you guys on an update. But it was working for a little bit. So I guess we're just gonna wait till Monday and get a new hose. And meanwhile, I'll be testing the cables and pulling everything off and seeing what the hell's going on. Where is it grabbing power for the down switches to work? No idea. So let me see what's up. We'll be back. Alright, so I got everything done. All that's left is to put the car back down and bleed the front. So I found my issue. I forgot to look back at the last clip, but my issue was, as soon as I was connecting one of the cables from the fourth battery positive terminal to the solenoid, all of a sudden the dumps would have power. If you go to the switches, you hit the down switch, all of a sudden you can hear the dumps clicking open, which should not be happening. That's even before plugging in the ground. And when I was plugging in the ground, these damn things would spark. As you can see, it's already kind of burnt, but still, the plug still works. So I found out the issue. This issue was one of the brand new solenoids was already bad. It's one of the solenoids that my homeboy went to go find somewhere local, and it was bad. It didn't smell burnt or anything like that until I took it out of the car, and then I can actually smell it, and you can tell that it went bad. So somehow that solenoid, just that one solenoid, went bad to where from the inside it was grabbing the ground and powering up that bank of batteries, which was weird. So replaced it, and now I no longer have that issue. So, and then after I tested that, make sure that the dumps were no longer getting power, I tested all the pumps. They were working perfectly besides the front. All of a sudden the front wasn't shooting any oil, but we did have to replace one of the hoses. One of the hoses had a pinhole, so we replaced it. So I figured, just because there's so much air in that one long line of this freaking Towncar, that it doesn't want to work. So I'm gonna crack open the line at the cylinder, and hopefully it bleeds itself out and it starts working. I did just barely put the pump back in. I did take it out just to see if maybe the O-ring or if the seals inside of the gear went bad all of a sudden, because they were working for just a few seconds when I first initially put everything together. And I did bench test the motor, so the motor works. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and do that real quick. Do a bleed, crack open that hose. Hopefully it starts working again, and I'll show you guys a little video of hitting some switches. Alright, got it all done. Had a little bit of leak from the old dump, got that fixed. Like I said, got the that one solenoid repaired. I mean, not repaired, swapped it out. Got it working great. I went ahead, tucked everything back, all the wires again. So now I guess it's just time to see what it does, right? Hit the switches. Let's see. Gotta love that steering wheel. Luxor everything on this thing. Yep. And dumps nice and smooth and everything. On the left pump right here, that's a brand new return hose. For some reason it has a little bit of leak. I took it off the fitting, and turns out the fitting that I used on the other side of this of the slowdown, it had like a little bit of a flat spot. So that flat spot transferred to the hose, so I might have to go ahead and just replace the hose. I did replace the fitting, so now it doesn't leak like it did. It just rarely leaks a little bit. So let's see, this is it all the way down right now. Let's see, let's raise it all four up. That's it, up on all fours right there. Nice and smooth and everything. It's a beautiful car. That's a nice color though. Nice duck color. So the next thing for this ride is we're gonna go ahead and do a whole chrome front undercarriage. Everything, the bottom, the lowers, the steering linkage, whatever you can think of up front, we're gonna do it. It already has a chrome dry shaft. I don't know if I mentioned that already. He has like the chrome transmission member mount and everything like that. With that beefy rear end right there, he did we already did the chrome upper and lower trailing arms adjustable, and the cover is aluminum, so all I did was just polish it. So yeah, so we got more chrome coming for this car. Maybe I'll be putting some more chrome in mine, I don't know. Yep, no leaks. What I kind of did was kind of tighten that a little bit more than you should. So far, no leaks. So right now, it's still up on all four. Alright. So we'll probably catch you guys on the next one. Maybe I'll show us doing some upgrades to the car. So the car already has a spindle swap. I might have already mentioned that. This thing has like a C10 ball joint. Not S10, C10. C10 ball joint. So spindle swap already. Let's see. But yeah, we're gonna ditch those upper arms. They're chrome, but they are beat up. He bought them used. we're gonna ditch that and go with the Cadillac arms. Cadillac Caprice arms. Alright. Well, I'll probably have to catch you guys on the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Peace.